10 days ago, 49 people were shot and killed inside a gay nightclub in Orlando. In the wake of this, the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, gun sales have skyrocketed across the country. People now arming themselves, including a higher number of members of the LGBT community. After the shooting, an Oklahoma native, someone I've known for many years, wrote an article for Vox. This was titled, "As a gay woman, I don't feel safe in America right now, so I bought a gun." Bree Schmidt joins us live right now via Skype. Bree, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
This article gaining a lot of traction online. What would you say was your main message that you were trying to get across?
The main message, it's not about fearing Islamic terrorism, radical Islamic terrorism. It's about my community has been targeted, I mean, way back from the Dark Ages to the Holocaust to Stonewall through today. And I think my main message is that it's not a new thing. This is something that's been happening to us over and over and over again. I don't blame radical Islam on it. I blame modern day rhetoric. I mean, you have your Sally Kern here, you have your Mary Fallon here, who very openly say, hey, well, Sally compared us to being worse than terrorists, to a cancer. And you have Mary Fallon saying, if it were still legal for me to discriminate against you, I would. She would go against the Supreme Court to do that. So my message isn't don't be afraid of a terrorist, because I mean I'm from Oklahoma City. I'm from the place where the term going postal was coined. I'm from the city where the bombing happened. I'm always ready for something like that. I've always walked into every day thinking that, oh, something terrible is going to happen. It's more than just because I'm gay or because I might go to a gay club. It is just for everyday protection. And I've been shooting since I was 5. So I'm not one of those people who are just really scared and went out and bought a gun and then don't know what to do with it. I'm responsible with it. I know how to keep it. I know how to carry it. I mean, I've had so many people on the internet tell me I need to go learn how to shoot it. Like I said, I've covered that. But that gun isn't just for walking down the street and gripping it when I feel nervous out in public. It's only going to come out if it needs to.
In the Vox article, you state that you don't believe we can blame the Orlando shooting on radical Islam, but Omar Mateen called 911. He called himself an Islamic State soldier, but you still consider this a hate crime, not a terrorist attack?
Right, all right. And I think people need to pay attention to the hate crime aspect of it. And I think a lot of people are very eager to say, oh, this is radicalism, because a lot of people hold the same beliefs Omar Mateen did against the gay community, and that makes them uncomfortable that they kind of identify with someone who is a homophobe, obvious homophobe. My thing with ISIS and what I've always said is the only reason most of us think they have anything to do with Islam is because they have told us that. The Westboro Baptist Church preaches that it's a Christian entity. The KKK, back when it started, was a Christian entity. You ask any Christian today, any rational one, oh no, they're not actually part of our group. That has nothing to do with us. We don't allow that same leeway in Islam because it's not our religion. So we need to be able to distinguish that. He said, yeah, he called in and said, I'm with ISIS. He didn't. What was probably going through his head, if I have any sort of insight into it, is he is trying to atone for the fact that he is closeted, which has been discussed in multiple outlets. And that is a way of, and he's thinking, he has such an internalized homophobia that he is trying to rationalize his suicide. And an easy way to do that is to blame it on ISIS.
There have been rumors that he was maybe gay. His father has come out and vehemently denied that. And again, he did say he was doing this on behalf of ISIS. And yes, as you're mentioning, there's a difference between any radical religion and the religion itself. Do want to ask you how you hope your purchase will make you safer. Say you had been in the Orlando gay club that night. Would the outcome have been any different? I don't think guns are allowed there.
Guns were not allowed there, and that's part of the deal. I mean, they had an armed police officer on the scene making an arrest for, I believe, underage drinking, and even he didn't have time to react. That's why I don't particularly enjoy clubs, because it's very dark. A lot of times it's very smoky. You can't see, and if you look up on videos on YouTube, it's very easy to conceal an AR-15 if you've got a pair of baggy pants on and a t-shirt. You can do it. I don't believe we should be selling assault weapons. Those aren't, you can hunt with an AR-15 if you just really want to blow to pieces whatever you're hunting. It's not a practical weapon for anything but killing human beings. Those type of military-grade weapons do not need to be on the street. My little .38, I'm not going to go on a mass shooting spree. I have 7 shots if I load one in the barrel. So it's, I mean, or in the chamber, excuse me. So, I mean, I couldn't go out. It would take a lot of effort for me to go out and shoot 49 people and wound 50 others with that gun. That's the type of thing. If you're going to have one, get something small that is threatening enough that can kill someone if you're very accurate and very good at what you do. And then you have to mean it. So that your argument of, oh, you know, it's not safe for the average citizen to carry a gun, you're right, it's not, because we don't have background checks, we don't have anything. Like, it's harder to get an abortion than it is to get a gun. It was much easier for me to get a gun than it was to get birth control, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, which I think is a big part of our society's problem. It needs to be reversed. You need to go through psychological testing, you need to go through background checks first, and then you can get a gun. And even then, it needs to be not even a semi-automatic at that rate.
You mentioned in the article the process that you went through in obtaining this weapon. You talk about a gun show that you visited, and you refer to the people there as those who frighten you the most, surrounded by weapons of all sorts. But then you bought one. So do you feel kind of a contradiction? Do you feel a little hypocritical that you're now one of these people who you say frighten you the most?
I don't have Confederate flag memorabilia all over me. I was not one of the people selling the Nazi insignia lighters, and I chose to buy from a merchant who didn't sell any sort of, no AR-15s, no rifles of any sort. He only sold handguns. So that was part of my decision. He was a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but when I saw his table free of assault weapons, I felt more comfortable with that, because I specifically chose someone that didn't align with those things. Specifically the table that had the sticker proudly displayed that read, "Who's ready to play cowboys or Muslims?" I ran from that booth, basically.
You mentioned the fact that your community, the LGBT community, has been targeted for a long time. You said this is nothing new. My question is, why now? Why did you decide that now is the time you needed to buy that weapon?
Well, as I mentioned in my article, I had suffered from depression. I've gotten a lot. You never recover from depression; you just get better. I've gotten better to the point where I could handle a gun again without scaring myself. And like I said, I've been sharpshooting since I was a little kid, thanks to my Vietnam vet father. So it's a sport for me more than anything else. I'll kill the crap out of a target at a range before I'll even begin to draw a gun on a person. So that's, to me, it was, I mean, plus I'm terrified that we elect Donald Trump. He's absolutely, if you listen to his rhetoric, he falls in line with other dictators, such as, you know, even Hitler. Hitler had the scapegoat to the Jewish population that turned into the gay population, that turned into the disabled population, that turned into prisoners of war. And that was 11 billion people based on one man's really, really terrifying rhetoric at the beginning.
Lastly, what would be your message to Oklahomans right now? I know you, born and raised here, you grew up here, you recently moved to Arkansas just a few months ago, but what would be your message to Oklahomans right now in the midst of this, as your community is now the most targeted minority of any others?
Yeah, and you guys say, you have to understand that by targeted, I don't necessarily mean, you know, killed in the largest mass shooting in our history, which kind of sort of it was, but that actually was the Native Americans. But our message to Oklahoman is watch your government. They introduce anti-LGBT legislation all the time. We're not protected, so I could go out and get married this weekend and then be fired on Monday for being gay at work. That's the kind of thing you also have to watch out for. It's not just a, oh, I think someone's going to shoot me thing. The government has passed, I think 200 pieces of anti-gay legislation this past year, or at least tried to. That's a form of targeting us. That is, like I said, people want to focus on the, oh, someone gunned you guys down. That's not what I'm talking about. The gay marriage fight was a hard-fought fight, but that's not the end of gay rights, and people need to understand that. And also in Oklahoma, like, here's the deal. I don't really look girly. I'm not after your daughter in the bathroom. In fact, keep your children away from me. I'm not a big fan of children. But let us live. Just leave us alone. That's really, the gay agenda is just wanting to be left alone at all times. That's it.
Bree Schmidt of Edmond, thank you so much for spending your time with us, making national headlines. This article has been shared thousands of times because it really makes some interesting points. We thank you so much for spending part of your day with us and shedding some of your opinions on us here at KOCO 5. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys.